Disclaimer. The conversations, ideas, plans, and other content of this podcast do not constitute advice about investing in cryptocurrency or any other types of investment. We are learners, not investment experts, and we intend this podcast only to be a record of our own journey into cryptocurrency investments. Enjoy!
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Getting Started with Crypto, where everyone knows your name. I'll be host. Exactly. This is Christian. I will be your host today. Unfortunately, our normal hosts, Josh and James, have both fudded out of the market. No longer a part of the club. No, just kidding. One of them is actually on vacation and the other is under the weather, but we will power on. I am joined by an esteemed group of degenerate gamblers. We have the Chris trifecta with us today. And Joel, why don't you all say hello?
Hello.
All right. That was great. Perfectly in sync. So let's go ahead, just jump right into it real quick. Let's talk about how our portfolios did this week. Judging by what I've seen in the market, I'm thinking you guys are starting to see some signs of life. How about you, Chris?
A, B, or C?
Chris
Me?
K.
There we go. My portfolio is still a little lacking. I'm in some long holds, so I'm not too worried about it. But at the same point in time, you'd want to see a little bit of growth whenever you can. But
Would you say you improved this week over from where you were this time last week?
Oh yeah, I'm going up some percentage points for sure. But
that's good.
Yeah, we'll see. A little steady growth is good.
And Chris, number 2 at the short table.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat basically.
Yeah.
I think I've seen like somewhere between 15 and 20% growth this week over last week.
Normally very good in the crypto space, but I think when we're all down 50 to 75% overall from about a month ago, it's not as exciting to say you're up 15, 20% for some reason. How about you, Joel?
Yeah, about the same. I mean, since the market really crashed, I started to go negative, but now I'm probably about...
Okay, so you actually did go all the way into the red from your initial?
I did go into the red from my initial, just barely touched the red.
Oh, wow, interesting.
But now on my initial investment, I'm up probably like 70% or something. So still doing pretty good. Just got to hold out and wait for the market to climb back up.
That HODL strategy seems to be paying off. It's been dangerous, obviously. I think we would have liked to have maybe taken some more profits, but we're learners here.
Yeah, I would have loved to have cashed out at the all-time high and waited for the dip.
Wilson, how are you doing over there?
Yeah, about the same boat.
Yeah, same story here. My portfolio's starting to look better this week. Talk to me a month ago, I was crying, thinking about selling and, I don't know, moving to Mexico, figuring out, I don't know, just taking a new life, new identity.
Get some Mexico coin.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say the coin that is driving the market, dominating the market for crypto and alts altogether is Bitcoin.
Sure, unfortunately.
So for that reason, this week, Bitcoin is our coin of the week.
Yep. Bitcoin and Hold. Those are two competing coins right now that we're not sure which one will win out.
Any thoughts from the group as to why Bitcoin is doing what it's doing? Obviously we've seen a big correction. We're starting to see some signs of life. Do you see that as a trend continuing, or do you think we're going to continue to move downward?
That's the $64 question, right?
Mm-hmm. Come on. It's easy, right?
Yeah, take your pick.
Yeah, so... go ahead, Chris.
I feel like over the next, couple weeks towards a month, I feel like Bitcoin will start gaining strength as it's done in previous years. But I guess for the near future, within the next couple days, it could dip down a little bit. I don't see it going down too much, but I feel like it'd float plus or minus, man, who knows, maybe 500, something like that, around where it's at now.
It's all going up in the long run. It's going to be a roller coaster ride all year.
Sure.
That's why you just got to hold and play the markets the best you can.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty confident that if you're holding Bitcoin right now, a year from today, you're probably going to be pretty happy.
Yeah.
What's going to happen in the next month? It's still relatively unknown, which I think that's definitely fair to say. I do think this overall correction, although painful, was somewhat healthy for the market in the sense that we grew way too fast. And not to be on a high horse by any means, because I'm a part of this club, but a lot of us getting into Bitcoin and throwing dollars at it kind of recklessly, we were setting ourselves up for this position. And I think a lot of people that are leaving the market were those people that were coming in for that quick buck, quick profit, rather than kind of I don't know, Satoshi's vision of what the purpose of Bitcoin was supposed to be, a decentralized coin. And I think the hardcore crypto followings that have been in the space for maybe, I don't know, 6 months to a year, that makes you a hardened veteran at this point. They understand where that vision is and are continuing to hold and invest in the market. And then others that, maybe bought in at Bitcoin at $18,000 plus and got burned were likely some of the first that, flooded out of the market and may be looking to hop back in as Bitcoin overall seems to look more healthy.
Sure. And as Bitcoin might have found its new new base or whatever. And then anything that, whether it's stock market or whatever it is, has some huge explosive growth over a short period of time, of course there's going to be a massive market correct to basically rectify that whole thing. And so there's a whole bunch of different, you could say New Year's FUD, government FUD, Asian markets, you can say all sorts of different things compiled together with a market correct, and we see a massive market correct, which is what we're seeing now. And so now it's just riding it out, if you will, for how long it might last.
Yeah, I think also you made a good point earlier when we were off camera, but you mentioned that, the stock market, it's gone through a huge growth period the past few months and looks like it's been tapering off and moving downward as of late, which I wonder what that means for crypto, if we're going to see people pulling out of the market and saying, hey, Bitcoin's sitting out around 10, 11,000. Now's a good time to move around some of my investments.
Sure. Yeah. And there's all sorts of, things going on with that. Whereas in previous times, I guess, if the stock market's looking like it's taking a dive, you could, if you have tons of money, pull your money out and put it in the housing market. But now, if it looks like the stock market's taking a dive, in order to save your losses, there's an option to put it into cryptocurrency. Although cryptocurrency is super volatile, if you have lots of money, you have a way of, to some extent, manipulating small coins. You can be a whale and you can have some control over your little niche within the cryptocurrency market. So there's that option for the big players, the big people throwing big money around to pull their money out of one market, i.e. the stock market or the housing market or something like that. And now this new market is an option, cryptocurrency. And I feel like if that happens, if big money pulls out, that'll put big money into crypto. And like we are seeing in the growth last year, everything will start blowing up and everything will start rising. But that's just one theory. Who knows? But
And I think we learned quite a bit this year, especially seeing the timing of when the market went down. And now, it felt like we saw a good surge of recovery around Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. Obviously, China's a big market for crypto. So next year, definitely, I've made a note actually already on my phone to remind me, hey, Chinese New Year is coming. You might want to buy some coin now in advance before it moves upward, just so I can be ready.
Yeah. And a big thing too is watch what's been happening in previous years. Obviously, it's not a guarantee of what's going to happen, but it's a good indication of things that could potentially happen this year as it's happened in the past year. Other than that, it's all just a guessing game.
Chinese New Year 2019 is February 5th for anybody who wants to know.
February 5th. Mark it on your apps now. So you can
buy before the 5th.
Hopefully we can take profit on it next year. I think like many of us with this last dip, I was probably a little bit more extended than I should have been into the market and got hit by it. So unfortunately didn't have that fiat to buy the bottom of the dip, which I would have loved to have done.
Nice.
But it's a learning process for me. So I think next time I'll be prepared. I'll have some money pulled out of the market and aside to just ready for these instances.
Definitely.
All right. Any additional thoughts around Bitcoin in general?
Dominance.
Yeah, how about it coming back? I thought it was going to have a breaking point. I thought ETH and the alts were going to kind of pull away from it. Is kind of what it looked like going into this massive dip. But it's gaining its dominance. It's gaining its spot as king, and
for now.
It's keeping it and earning it.
Well, one thing to keep in mind is a year ago at this time, Bitcoin was 85% of the market.
Wow.
Yeah, and now it's at what, 30-something?
So in the last year, it's dropped to 37%.
Exactly. And I think it's a matter of time until it goes down to 10% of the market.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it continue to downtrend, especially as we see exchanges trading coins, specifically altcoins, against the dollar. or atomic swapping, which I hear is getting close, where you can theoretically trade your Tron coin for a Monero coin.
Yeah, 1-to-1.
Yeah, so that would be...
or whatever.
Yeah, because with everything trading against Bitcoin right now, I think it's natural that Bitcoin is going to be the dominant leader and always affect the market. So
volume
as that changes,
I
think we'll see some change in the market and new opportunity for the alt market to continue to grow.
Yeah, once everything breaks away from Bitcoin, then we'll really be off to the races.
Can't wait.
Yep. Did you go through predictions already, or?
Oh yeah, let's run through a real quick
predictions. Or wild guesses.
Wild guesses. So my wild guess. Let's throw out our guess for where Bitcoin's going to be this time next week. Whoever is closest will win $10 million.
10 million Doge.
10 million
Doge dollars.
So my guess, I'm going to be optimistically conservative and say that we're hovering around, let's say $12,500 of Bitcoin this time next week. My prediction. Chris, go ahead.
I'll say around 11 grand. I don't see it. I feel like.
So we're gonna move sideways kind of over the next week.
I feel like it might go down and then come back up, and I feel like it won't go up too much by the time next week. Mm-hmm. That's my guess. 11 grand.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys for the most part. I think we're probably going to see around 12, something like that. But it's going to be a while. Probably till March till we start to see real numbers.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little bit more conservative and say closer to around 9.5. Mm-hmm. I think real valuation is actually around 8.5. Mm-hmm. But just because it's sort of bouncing up from this crazy crash that we just had, I think it's going to have a little bit more of a bullish tinge to it. Mm-hmm. I would love to see 12. That would be awesome.
Yeah. No, I think those are all very fair guesses, and I'll leave it to our crypto wizard, Wilson. What's the actual answer?
15.
15.
All right. You heard it here. You heard it first.
Remember, we are not financial advisors.
Couldn't tell by now.
But we can predict the future.
All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up to you guys. Any other coins or opportunities that you guys have been identifying in the market? Chris, you had mentioned some airdrops earlier you were looking at.
Yeah, I mean, in a market like this, I mean, you have to have guts of steel to be trying to trade and stuff like that right now, and that's just
good time
too
to put
risky.
fiat in.
Yeah, if you have fiat on the side, or you done your due diligence and pulled out and saved it for dips, then this is the great time. But for me, other than just holding, one thing I've been doing is well, obviously you could sign up for a whitelist and stuff like that, but getting airdrops and stuff.
So how does an airdrop work?
Well, you sign up, depends on what the company is doing and how the coin is going to be distributed, but you essentially sign up or go through their process, and then you give them your wallet address, and they send you a certain amount of their coins for whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then they basically say, all right, like you can use it on such an exchange or whatever to exchange it. And so you're basically given a certain number of coins for free, essentially. And so, I mean, they don't always end up being worth very much, but it's better than nothing. And some exchanges themselves, Robinhood being one of them, actually do this in association with that exchange.
Yeah. So that sounds great. I mean, there's really nothing to lose but your time, but going through the signups, really. So
sure. Yeah.
Free tokens that could potentially turn into something, probably a smart idea. And I think something that I'll investigate too. See if there are resources where you can maybe find a collection of upcoming airdrops to sign up for. I think that's where I'll probably start my research, and maybe if I learn anything new, I'll share it with you guys next week.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Is there crypto market calendar?
Okay.
That's a great place to check out. They got all kinds of
very
different
informative
things coming up, different things being listed, conferences, everything.
Reddit has a real good, their ICO thread on Reddit has been pretty good about people posting different ICO airdrops as they come up as well. So that's another potential outlet to find upcoming free coins, if you will.
Which one was that?
Reddit has a thread in ICO. Let's see if I can get the exact name of it. But
and Wilson, the cryptocurrency calendar, is that cryptomarketcal.com?
Yeah.
Or sorry, coinmarketcal.com?
Yeah, coinmarketcal.com.
The Reddit thread is ICO crypto.
And we'll go ahead and throw links to these sites over in the video so you guys can check them out as well. But yeah, it's do your homework. I think, being familiar with that calendar so you're not caught off guard when things happen in the market that have been announced weeks or months ago that's just smart.
It's huge, yeah.
So something I'll look to do as well. Anything else anybody want to discuss or cover before we wrap things up?
Keep your head up.
Yeah.
Keep your head up, everybody.
Remember, after Bitcoin first hit 1,000, it dropped to 200.
I think another thing to just real quick to plug is any exchange, any major exchange tokens are always a good idea. So Binance has BNB, Cobb has Robinhood. I mean, any exchange that's going to be around for a little bit, then I think it's not a bad idea to invest in their coins.
For sure, and I've made a habit of always keeping some Binance token in my account just because I primarily trade there, and it saves you 50% on fees. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me personally, to hold a few of them to save on those fees.
Sure.
Yeah.
But thank you all for joining us. Real quick reminder, feel free to join us on our Telegram channel. We're all somewhat active over there. Would love to have you guys come in and we can talk all things crypto. Thanks for joining us today, guys.